Hey, what time is it? It's learning time with me, Grandpa Jai. Why, hello there. How are you today? As for me, I'm doing just fine. Today, we're learning about having patience. Do you know what it means to have patience? When someone has patience, it means that they're willing to wait for what they want without getting angry or upset. One example would be if you want to go somewhere and you can't right now. You could have a bad attitude, but when you have patience, it means that you're going to have a good attitude and wait until you can go. Today, we're going to read a story that has a good example of how Winnie the Pooh and his friends had to show patience. Our story today is called A Surprise Garden. If you have this book, you can read along as I read. Let's get to it. Winnie the Pooh's A Surprise Garden. Written by Nancy Parent. Illustrated by Atler Felipe Harkey. It was early summer in the 100-acre wood. Rabbit's garden was filled with flowers and vegetables that were ready for picking. "How does your garden grow?" Pooh asked Rabbit. "Those vegetables stay hidden underneath the dirt," said Tigger. "Then old Longears digs up the loot when it's ready, just like buried treasure." "Not exactly," said Rabbit. "First I plant these itty-bitty things called seeds." Rabbit held out a hand to show his friends what they looked like. "And, as a little surprise, I have a packet for each of you. These are my special surprise seeds. You'll have to plant them and see what grows." "Oh my," said Piglet. "I don't know much about planting a garden." "Nonsense," said Owl. "Like my old Uncle Cuthbert used to say, just give them some room and the flowers will bloom." "Flowers and vegetables do need room to grow," said Rabbit. "There are some simple rules to planting. If you follow them, your seeds will sprout." "Hoo hoo hoo hoo!" shouted Tigger. "Sproutin', shoutin' seeds! I can hardly wait." "Now listen carefully," said Rabbit, "and I'll tell you my rules. Till and hoe, pull out the weeds. Then dig a hole to hold the seeds. Plant them in a sunny spot, then water them, but not a lot. There's one more thing you need to know. It takes some time for seeds to grow." Next, Rabbit gave each of his friends a little patch of dirt in his garden where they could plant their seeds. "A honey tree would be perfect for me," Pooh said. "I bet you I'll grow a stupendous beanstalk up to the sky," cried Tigger. "Come on, Longears, let's get a plantin'." Pooh and his friends followed Rabbit's directions carefully. First, Pooh and Piglet hoed and raked the soil. Next, Tigger dug some perfect-sized holes. Finally, Roo planted the seeds in a sunny spot, while Owl carefully watered them. Now came the hard part, waiting for the seeds to grow. Each day, Pooh and his friends stopped by Rabbit's garden to cheer on their seeds, and each day they went away feeling a little disappointed because they didn't see anything growing. "These seeds have got a lot of catching up to do," Tigger said with a sigh. Poor Roo couldn't wait much longer. "What if these don't sprout and we run out of patience?" he asked. "Now, now," said Rabbit, "you've got to give the seeds a chance. Everything grows in its own time. Take good care of your seeds, give them sunlight and water, and I promise they'll grow." Pooh looked very thoughtful. "Perhaps we didn't follow Rabbit's gardening rules," he said. "Fiddlesticks," said Owl.
shaking his head. "We did exactly as he told us." Suddenly Roo had an idea. "Sometimes Mama takes extra special care of me with a little treat," he said. "Hey, I think you got something there, Roo boy," said Tigger. "We each need to do something extra special for our seeds." So each of Pooh's friends came up with his very own seed-carrying idea. Piglet covered his patch of dirt with a soft pink blanket so his seeds wouldn't get cold. Tigger put on his good luck hat and did his Tiggerific rain dance. "Hoo hoo hoo hoo!" he cried. "Rain, rain, shower, shower, bring down some flower power." Owl tickled his patch of dirt with a feather to cheer up his seeds. "Won't they be tickled?" he said. Meanwhile, Roo and Piglet hurried over to Roo's house to get his magic wand. When Roo returned to the garden, he waved it over his little patch. Then he did the same thing for each of his friends' seeds patches. "Abracadabra!" cried Roo. "Please grow for Tigger, Owl, Piglet, and Pooh." Shortly thereafter, Pooh went home to get his honey pot. When he came back to the garden, he sprinkled the dirt with tiny drops of honey. "Bother," said Pooh. "I do hope this sweetens them up. Honey always works for me." A few days later, all the seeds began to sprout. First, Pooh's friends saw little buds on the flower stems and baby vegetables. Then the buds turned into blooms and the vegetables got bigger. "What a spectacular surprise these seeds turned out to be!" cried Tigger. There were bright yellow sunflowers for Tigger, pink pansies for Piglet, string beans for Owl, cherry tomatoes for Roo, but nothing for Pooh. Poor Pooh looked up at Tigger's tall, sunny flowers. He couldn't figure out why his seeds weren't growing. "Think, think, think," he said. "I think I did everything I was supposed to do. I even tried to be patient." Pooh's friends were so pleased with their little crop of vegetables and flowers that they decided to pick some for Rabbit as a thank you present. First, Tigger cut down his sunflowers, and when he did, the garden area was suddenly bathed in sunlight. "Old Longears will absolutely love my blossomin' bloomers," said Tigger. A few days later, the most surprising thing happened. With Tigger's flowers out of the way, the sun began to shine right on Pooh's garden patch, and the seeds began to sprout and grow. Pooh's seeds grew into the best plant of all. "Those are the biggest, plumpest strawberries I've ever seen," said Rabbit. "Oh, thank you," said Pooh, although he wasn't sure what he had done. "It just goes to show patience works wonders, Pooh," said Rabbit. "I'll have to add patience to my list of gardening rules," said Rabbit. "Make sure you find a sunny spot, then till and rake and hoe. Be patient, it may take a while to see your garden grow." The end.
Did you see how everyone wanted their garden to grow, but they had to be patient and care for their garden and wait until it was ready? Our book showed us that even though we may want something right now, sometimes we just can't have it, and we just have to be patient until the time comes when we can have it. Sometimes it can be very hard to be patient, but we just have to try our best. Other times we can try really hard to be patient, but we just aren't very good at it. We just have to keep trying. That's okay, we're learning, right? If we don't do good, we just have to work harder next time until we get it right. Remember, our best is our best, so just forget the rest. Don't worry about it, you'll get it right. Hope the next time you hear the word patience, you'll think about Winnie the Pooh and his friends and how they had a beautiful garden because they were patient and let it have time to grow. Well, that's all the time we have for today. If you'd like to get a copy of this book for yourself, I put a link down in the description. Don't forget to come see me tomorrow, and we'll learn something new. Bye.